couple episodes ago, Craig, I came up with the 7-day movie challenge.
Yes.
You pick a movie and you watch it for 7 days in a row, and then you see how your perception of that movie is enhanced or diminished. And I'm gonna do it.
Oh, really?
Yes. I think that 7 days is a little excessive, so I've decided to turn it into a regular work week, 5 nights in a row watching the same movie.
I may have to stop by to watch this movie with you one of those nights.
I'm sorry to say, I think I have to go it alone. Like
Really?
going into that sensory deprivation tank, you don't go in with a buddy. Because he'd just be talking all the time.
Yeah. Are you feeling nothing, man? I'm feeling so much nothing.
I haven't even come close to turning into a monkey man. I found the movie. It is a movie I've seen before.
Yeah?
I was kind of dismissive of it because I was a big fan of this director, but I didn't feel like this movie was evocative of his style, mainly because it was his first film. It is none other than Wes Anderson's Bottle Rocket.
Oh! Bob's house in that movie is a Frank Lloyd Wright house.
Nice. And I will let you know, how it goes on the 5-day movie challenge, which henceforth will be known as the Cinema Immersion Tank.
I'm
You are excited. Cinema Immersion. Engage! I've got a bunch of movies that I've never seen before. You don't know what they are. Every episode, I'm going to spring one on you. It might be good. It might be bad. We'll watch it and talk about it. Welcome to the basement. Happy Sci-Fi July, Craig.
Nah.
Here on Welcome to the Basement, every July we watch sci-fi movies. Last time I gave Craig a selection of choices to determine which movie we'd be watching. Good, bad, and worst. He chose worst, which means I'm going to show him this really bad movie, and then he gets to pick the movie for next time. The movie I have in this envelope is not a bad movie. It is the worst movie. I hope you're prepared for what we are going to go through tonight, and I hope you've accepted the fact that you've brought this down on our heads.
Worse is a subjective thing. You know, maybe it'll be so bad it's enjoyable, as they say.
I think you'll be eating those words in a few seconds when I show you what movie we're watching. What is the worst? Is it a film that rips off one of the most beloved sci-fi films of the 80s?
Oh, God, no.
Or a film rife with shameless product placement? The answer? Both. I give you Mac and Me.
Oh, my God.
You can't even look at it. You better look, because it's coming at you. Released in 1988, starring short-lived SNL cast member Christine Ebersol and no one else of consequence, this film was directed by Stuart Raffill, a director who went on to direct such family films as 2007's Bad Girl Island, which is, quote, a sexy mystery about temptation and primal forces set on a mystical island in the Bermuda Triangle, unquote.
I would rather be watching that.
Not gonna happen. This film received a Young Artist Award nomination for Best Family Motion Picture, Animation, or Fantasy category. It lost to Beetlejuice, a family film that contains the word f***, I might add. Nominated for 4 Golden Raspberry Awards, MAM only won 2, for Worst Director and for Worst New Star. And I won't tell you who that is just yet. Let's watch the movie and see if we can spot him. In defiance of Mac and Me, I've decided to get you a gift that is not crappy. As you know, I just got back from vacation in Alaska, and I picked you up a little something at the Seattle airport.
Oh!
Enjoy.
Seattle.
Show it to the camera.
Sub Pop, where rock and roll was invented.
Hey, postcard!
Hey, I used to live in Seattle. I used to look at that while driving.
You used to look at a postcard while driving? That's weird.
God, it's got to be around here somewhere. Never found it.
Well, why don't you get on your bicycle and put a crappy rubber alien in your basket and bike on over to the old leather couch with us and watch the 80s family film Mac and Me. Sorry.
This is all my fault.
It is. I hope you're ready for this, because if you're not, God help you.
Far off on some distant planet,
This is a beautiful space vista, about to be ruined by shitty puppets.
a family of 4 freaks drink out of a hole in the ground. A probe comes down from the United States of America, and they go to investigate it. Something goes wrong, and they all get sucked into the probe.
The probe then returns to Earth, where it is examined by a bunch of scientists. The family pops out of the probe, causing pandemonium.
3 of them go in one direction, and the smallest one goes off in the other.
He wanders out into a busy intersection and causes multiple traffic fatalities. What the hell?
Whoa! How many people has Mac killed so far?
It's grotesque. I'll name it... Ah! This precocious little guy ends up in a van with Michael, Mom, and Eric, who's in a wheelchair.
Highway 10. I-10. That's no, it's not the I-10. It's I-5.
What are you trying to prove? I know highways in California. You're not impressing anybody, least of all me. The creature rides with them back to their new house. They just moved to California from Chicago.
Oh, great house, man.
I can't see anything.
I can't see over this box of products.
Hey, Mom.
Look over here.
Hey, is that all ours?
The family with no peripheral vision.
He's not invisible. He's just good at hiding. Or they're just not good at observing. He has to try to get his brother to put the glasses on, and they end up getting in an 8-minute wrestling match.
Mac lives. It's an apt comparison because this movie also tells us to consume. This alien sneaks around the house and he causes weird things to happen. He makes electrical things turn on when they're not plugged in. He takes a shower.
Oh, it's like the scene in The Shining.
I didn't know this movie would have a sexy shower scene. He tells a couple of crazy sounding stories and nobody believes him.
There's something weird going on.
No, there's not. What weird could be happening here and where we are?
Why are you crying, Mac?
Why don't you grow a pair, Mac? Literally, please, grow a pair, because looking at your blank pelvis is very disconcerting. Finally, after a day and a night of this entire family not noticing this little wrinkled baby walking around and doing things, Eric and the neighbor girl, Debbie, see him for the first time. What?
Tools are like shooting out at him through walls. This is bad and freaky. It's a terrifying sequence.
You better get out of the house, kid, because Mac is on a rampage. Mac is in communication with his family who are far away in the desert. So he redecorates the family's living room to look like a desert.
There's all this crap in the living room.
Mom wakes up in the morning, thinks her wheelchair-bound 10-year-old son did the whole thing and gets a little mad at him. He tries to convince him that he didn't do it, but no one believes him. We always knew our little crippled boy was into rogue topiary. Eric is upset. He wheels off into the surrounding wilderness to be alone with his thoughts. And this happens. Uh-oh.
Ah!
I really hope this is the end of the movie because they can't top this.
And he falls a substantial distance. I don't like how this is going. Little Debbie sees this, and she's freaking out.
Mac to the rescue. He jumps out into the lake and pushes Eric's wheelchair back onto dry land. Eric tells his mom, who rescued him, but no one will believe him.
Doctor says he'll never walk again. They call up the doctor, who medicates Eric. They call up the doctor.
I'm going to give you this mild sedative.
Take these pills. Don't tell your mom. If you want more, here's my number.
You know what I feel like?
A Big Mac?
Man is a genius.
They don't go down to McDonald's yet. No, you have to wait for that. Instead, other things happen. Oh, Mom goes to work for her first day. It's something very chic in Hollywood that you'd have to travel across the country for. Sears. Yes, you've traveled across country to work at a Sears.
You still haven't told me what we're going to do.
Charlie Brown.
So they hide in the closet and they lay out this trap. It's like Blue Velvet. Aha! Gotcha! Here's a vacuum cleaner. How do you like that? They suck up the alien. The vacuum goes crazy. It goes around the house with little Debbie on it.
The next scene, they're both in wheelchairs. So far in this movie, Mac has been thoroughly abused, and
Yeah.
I, for one, approve. Eric and Debbie, the neighbor girl, they're excited that they found this alien creature who does fun things and eats Skittles, and it's great. But now it's time for them to go to a birthday party.
Oh my gosh, that's my mom. What are we going to do?
Let's kill each other in a suicide pact.
They want to bring Mac with them, but they can't, because he'll freak everybody out.
Tell her I'll be there in a minute. What are you going to do?
Burn down the house.
So they skin and gut teddy bear, and they dress Mac up in its hide.
It's again like The Shining.
Yeah, it is. We're noticing a lot of parallels. We should get a chapter in that Room 237 documentary about The Shining, because we're onto something here. Debbie and Eric tell Debbie's mom that it's just a big teddy bear that has a computer in it. It's a far-fetched story. Debbie's mom just rolls her eyes and says, whatever.
If you've never been to McDonald's before, don't get your hopes up. It's not like this at all.
All around here, white people are frantically calling the police. And inside, there's a big party happening. And Ronald McDonald is there, commiserating with the kids, mingling.
I don't believe it.
I remember those McDonald's cups, though.
Oh my god, yeah.
Dancers leap up from their seats and do an elaborate choreographed number. It's amazing. Mac sees this happening and he wants to get into the action too, so he jumps up on the counter and he does a few steps. These two guys from some sort of government organization who've been tracking Mac down finally come into the McDonald's and they're like, that's our man. We have reports that the creature is cutting loose, footloose. There are multiple reports of Sunday shoes down. Sunday shoes are down. He hops on Eric's wheelchair and they take off through the streets. There's a chase. Once again, surely multiple traffic fatalities happen here.
But who should come by but the rest of the gang, and they pick up Mac, and they pick up Eric.
And they discover that Mac is trying to triangulate the position of his lost family.
We must be getting closer.
How does he know where his stupid family is? He can see through their eyes now? Because he does this, he makes the Wu-Tang symbol. He can suddenly knows where his family is by sight?
Matt.
No, I'm pissed off,
You're
Craig.
stronger than this movie, man.
I don't know that
let
I
it
am.
get to you.
Wu-Tang?
And they find this old mine.
Are you sure it's okay?
Yeah, just wait there.
Yeah, I'll be fine. Mac's family is lying there. They're dazed and near death. We know what will help these sick aliens.
Coca-Cola.
The aliens greedily suck down the soda pop, and it brings them back to life.
They all get jacked up on Coke, and they head back into town.
They stop for gas, and the dad and the family, they get out and they go to the supermarket. And they're curious. The security guard for the grocery store pulls out his gun.
Tell him to back off!
He's thrusting. Dad alien gets a hold of a gun. He's waving it around. The cops arrive.
Put down your gun and nothing will happen to you.
I can stop him.
Give me your gun! Yeah! Time to Ruby Ridge this shit. Eric is caught in the blast and he's killed. The doctor verifies it.
He's gone.
What?
That kid dies in this film.
And this is gonna sound really awful.
Yeah?
I wish Eric would stay dead. Because it would lend this movie the gravitas that it needs. But I know the stupid aliens are gonna show up and bring him back to life, so it doesn't matter. Emerging from the flames are the knobby, wrinkled alien family.
They're impervious to fire.
Why does that dad always have to be thrusting his pelvis forward when he walks? Seriously, look at him. Who then surround him in a mystic circle. Wu-Tang! And they put their hands all over him. Okay, here's my second wish. I wish Eric would come back to life, but he'd be like changed. He'd just be really dark and brooding. You can't come back from the other side without losing something of yourself. These aliens have power over life and death. They bring him back from the veil through which no one returns.
Everyone is forgiven, and the aliens get to become United States citizens. Thank you, Ronald McDonald. Thank you, Ronald Reagan.
The aliens get into their pink convertible, saying, "We'll be back," but history will tell a different tale about that. Well, Craig, we have rolled down the hill and plunged off the cliff. That is Mac and Me.
If you were thinking the kid was gonna fly, not at that point.
He kind of flew in a way.
Ronald McDonald did indeed play himself.
Ronald McDonald, winner of the Golden Raspberry Award for Worst New Star. And I don't know about that. He was barely in the thing.
He was convincing.
He really wasn't
for the
that
most
terrible.
part, yeah.
I think it was just a to McDonald's for being so prominently featured.
I'm surprised how little McDonald's was featured in the movie. Coca-Cola, though, was the star of the show.
Well, it was the elixir of life that brings aliens back from the brink of extinction. The Coca-Cola thing brings me to what I believe is the root of the problem with this movie. The problem is not merely that the movie is ineptly written and performed. The problem with this movie is arrogance. They say, we'll be back. You won't be back. No one's going to make a sequel to this turd. We could talk about the cons all day long. The cons of this film are legion. Mm-hmm. What were the pros?
Christine Ebersol didn't suck.
How long have you been in lingerie?
In general, they did, like, high-speed chases pretty good. Mostly, I just hated looking at those lumpy, rubbery, naked aliens just walking around. It's very unsavory. It's just looking at that alien dad just kind of like, he's shimmying around like James Gumb in Silence of the Lambs, and it's gross.
Yeah, and it shows you how challenging it must have been to make the character of E.T. He's about that far away from being grotesque as well. But he's adorable, and they have a lot of things in common. The sagging skin, big googly eyes.
Well, E.T. had a far greater range of facial expression because he had a far greater budget. Mm-hmm. I've always said that kids' movies, nowadays, don't have enough real danger and peril. And I think it's important for kids to experience that cinematically to understand what it's all about. This movie was chock full of kids constantly being in danger of dying, and in fact, dying in explosions.
Yes. After falling off of a cliff.
A drill coming through the wall at his head.
And of course, just the air quality of Los Angeles in the 80s.
Oh, sure. Yeah. That'll kill anybody. So the little boy who plays Eric was wheelchair bound in real life.
Oh, yeah.
Be that as it may, do you think that was sort of pandering too much to our heartstrings?
At the beginning of the movie, I thought it was, but towards the end, I was like, no, he's just another bad actor in this bad movie.
Bad actor with bad legs.
Now, Matt.
That's not in very good taste. What am I?
Nope.
What am I thinking? Saying something like that.
Oh.
Ain't I a stinker?
He doed it.
Final thoughts on Mac and Me. Did it tug at your heartstrings?
Did it make my stomach rumble and make me want to take a late night dash out to McDonald's? No.
All right, well, that was Mac and Me. We survived it.
Not nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be.
By no means good. However, you should check it out if you haven't seen it, because maybe you'll have a different opinion. If you've got minutes to spare on your life and you want to spend them doing something productive, you can go to our website, welcometothebasementshow.com. You can see all the episodes of our show, and you can click on the little PayPal donation button. You can donate currency. We're not McDonald's. We're not Coca-Cola. We are only people. I'm tired.
You are?
A little bit. Anyway, speaking of contributions, some of our viewers have done just this. You could be among them if you go to the website and click on the little dingy. Here's who's donated recently. Molly, who says, "Thank you for always being so brilliant. I've been using Welcome to the Basement episodes as incentive for revising. So thanks for making me laugh and playing a part in hopefully helping me get the grades I need to go to university."
Hey.
Our pleasure, Molly. Elizabeth. Brian, who says, "I really enjoy how you guys are not afraid to dive in and analyze the movies in a thoughtful manner."
Like this one.
Victor, who says, "Thank you for providing a thoughtful and interesting show." And the supercomputer guy,
Hey.
who writes, "Here is 50 cents or $1, whichever one is more." It should be noted that neither of those amounts are what he contributed. He's a weird guy, the supercomputer guy, but I like him.
And now it's time for Seen It.
Kevin Hogan writes, "Repo Man. Seen it.
Seen It.
Alex Cox is the man who made that.
It's a punk rock movie.
It doesn't break the rules, but there are no rules."
Yeah, disregards the rules.
Yeah, exactly.
Ben the Barbarian asks, "Seen It? Forbidden Planet?"
Oh yeah, seen it. I own it. I love it. I love that movie.
It looks like it's going to be a hokey 50s sci-fi movie.
And it kind of is.
What you don't know about it is that it's far ahead of its time as far as psychology. It's exciting.
It's
funny.
Shakespearean.
It's got Leslie Nielsen doing a serious role early on.
And the special effects are great.
Eli Taylor writes, "You should watch Jacob's Ladder. It's a movie about a haunted Vietnam vet attempting to discover his past while suffering from a severe case of disassociation. Seen it.
Seen it.
In the theaters.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I don't know how much of a sci-fi movie this is, but I think it's maybe more of a psychological thriller.
A ghost story. It seems
Right.
like a fantasy story. It's.
A trippy drug movie.
I was in high school when this came out, and me and some friends of mine saw it in the theater one day while we were doing a run of the play Inherit the Wind. And a guy I went to see it with, who was playing the preacher, he's like, I don't know if I can go on tonight and damn someone to hell.
Oh, wow.
It was like he was that shaken up by the movie.
Vegemite. I'd love you to watch Galaxy of Terror. Seen it.
Never even heard of it.
It is a movie from the 80s. It stars Aaron Moran, who played Joni on Happy Days.
You don't have to tell me.
It's basically a remake of Forbidden Planet. It's about a group of space explorers who are on a planet, and the planet sort of takes their fears and personifies them and kind of picks them off one by one. James Cameron's first production design job was Galaxy of Terror.
Really?
Low budget, kind of crappy movie, but it looks a lot like Aliens. You should check it out just for that. Walls and tunnels and claustrophobia and the dark shadows and the bursts of light. Like so many greats before him, got his start with Roger Corman.
Yes, who taught him how to preserve money while making... No, he didn't. Didn't teach him that at all. Speaking of Cameron, Professional Knife Man says Terminator 2 is one of my favorites.
Hasta la vista. Seen it.
The effects in that movie were unlike anything I'd ever seen before, because I hadn't seen The Abyss. The helicopter scene where you can see the reflection of the helicopter pilot in the Mercury face, that is one of the most amazing moments I've ever had while watching a movie.
Well, that's Seen It.
And that is our show.
Oh, thanks for joining us for Sci-Fi July. We kicked it off together with Mac and me. Ugh. But hopefully you'll come back next time anyway, because this time Craig is picking the sci-fi movie, and I don't even know what it's going to be.
I don't even know what it's going to be quite yet, but next time, I will.
Thank you all who go to our website and make contributions. We appreciate it so much, and we appreciate all of you tuning in to the internet to watch our show. Welcome to the basement, and we will see you very soon. A good night.
Good night.
We did it all for the glory of love.